Life in Hong Kong returned to normal tonight after the city came to a standstill this morning when severe Typhoon Utor skirted the region. The observatory issued the strong wind signal number 3 shortly before 2 o'clock this afternoon, replacing the number 8 gale or storm signal, which had been in force for 13 hours. While Utor brought relatively minor damage to Hong Kong, it wreaked havoc at sea in neighbouring waters. Stephanie Choi has our top story tonight.
The observatory issued the number 8 gale or storm signal at 1:40 this morning. Utor is closest to Hong Kong hours later, skirting around 250 kilometers to the southwest of the territory. At 1:40 in the afternoon, the observatory replaced the number 8 signal with a strong wind signal number 3, while Utor was moving away from the region towards the western coast of Guangdong.
Under the influence of the outer rain bands of Utor, local weather are expected to be cloudy with squally showers. And the strong wind signal number 3 is expected to remain in force for a period of time overnight. So members of the public should stay on the alert.
Although Utor caused relatively minor damage in the city, it was a different story at sea. At about 10:30 this morning, the government flying service received a report about a Hong Kong-registered cargo ship listing and was in danger of sinking near the Wan Shan Islands to southwest of Lantau. When government flying service helicopters arrived at the scene, the ship had already sunk. The rescuers spotted 21 mainland Chinese crew members in water or on life rafts. They were all lifted to safety. The damage on land was less serious. At about 8 last night in To Kwa Wan, a 2-meter-wide satellite dish plunged onto 2 motorcycles parked along Pao Chung Street. Firefighters were dispatched to clear out over 20 fallen trees that had blocked off roads. The typhoon also affected flights at Hong Kong International Airport. Up to 5 p.m., more than 100 flights had been cancelled and some 400 others delayed. Some travelers were stranded at the airport.
The hostels were all full, and I didn't bring enough money for another night because I wasn't planning on staying another night.
Utor made landfall in Guangdong near Yangjiang in the afternoon. Earlier this morning, the sea became choppy at fishing ports along the Guangdong coast as winds picked up speed. Hainan province was not spared either. Heavy downpours have been forecast there. The influence of Utor was also felt in Macau, where the number 8 storm signal was also in effect from the morning until 3 in the afternoon. It was then replaced with the number 3 signal. Travelers had no choice but to wait out the storm as land, sea and air traffic came to a halt. Stephanie Choi, TVB News.
And just a quick correction to that story earlier. Typhoon Utor's number 8 signal was in fact up for 12 hours. Now, despite some destruction, the effects of the typhoon seemed relatively minor. As Rani Samtani reports, many people managed to enjoy a surprise day off.
As the typhoon moved closer to Hong Kong this morning, Victoria Harbour became visibly rougher than usual. Utor was the strongest tropical cyclone to hit the city this year, but weather conditions didn't seem very menacing as people seemed to have fun with the elements. Around 7 a.m., the eastern side of Hong Kong Island was largely spared from heavy rain. Health-conscious joggers insisted on sticking to their fitness routines. This man said he wasn't worried about the gusts because there's not much danger of anything being blown over in the area. Many others, pleasantly surprised by a sudden day off, went out and enjoyed their morning with a slow breakfast. This woman was happy to be able to go to Yum Cha with her family on this rare occasion because normally she'd be busy at work. Down in Shek O, some residents brought their young ones to the beach to witness the power of Mother Nature. They didn't seem fazed at all by the turbulent interruption of their summer holiday.
We would like to see the weather because, you know, Typhoon 8, we find a lot of interesting stuff. And it's nice. The breeze is so nice.
And it wasn't just the kids who came out to admire the natural elements.
Don't you think it's dangerous to be going out there?
To me it's not. Yeah. But for the beginner, it could be a bit dangerous because to them the current is big. It will drag the people away, far away from the beach.
The winds picked up to gale force in the south of Hong Kong early this morning, and the observatory issued warnings about rough seas. But despite the red flag warnings at the beach, some brave surfers went out to catch some good waves. Ronnie Samtani, TVB News.
And public transportation resumed after the number 8 signal was lowered this afternoon. But the storm disrupted the travel plans of many who were trying to reach their destinations. João da Silva has that story.
Buses resumed limited services after the observatory lowered the gale or storm signal number 8 this afternoon. People rushed to get to work as soon as it became strong wind signal number 3, with the Cross Harbour bus stop in Hong Kong packed with commuters. The storm caused disruptions for many, including this newspaper vendor who complained about the lack of people to buy his papers. As the typhoon moved away from Hong Kong this afternoon and ferry services resumed, mainly tourists but also some locals trying to get to work started trickling through the gates here at the Central Ferry Pier.
You're going to work now because of the typhoon?
Yeah, exactly.
What time would you start working normally?
Normally at 9.
Normally, I work on 9 o'clock.
Because of the typhoon, you could
Yes.
not get to work.
We try to visit my own temple, but it's closed. We try to visit the peak, and it's closed. And we are just walking.
Commuters heading to and from the outlying islands, however, had to wait longer before ferry services resumed. The first boat to Cheng Chau only departed from Central at 3:15 because of the rough sea. This passenger said that ferries usually resume services 10 minutes after the storm signal is lowered. He said the ferry operator should start making preparations to resume the services as soon as the observatory announces the time at which the warning will be lowered. And this commuter slammed the ferry operator for the delay and noted that it charges the highest ticket fees. And at the Macau Ferry Terminal 2, many passengers were stranded throughout the night and this morning, among them groups of mainland visitors who claimed to have been there for more than 6 hours. Tensions running high due to the long wait meant there were angry scenes when they eventually boarded. Finally, as the bad weather waned, the MTR Corporation increased the number of trains to peak period frequency to make sure those still going to work could do so without further delay. João da Silva, TVB News.